Hello and welcome to the first live stream from Cardiff Met International here on our Cardiff Met International YouTube channel. So, for those of you who haven't tuned into any of our videos before, or even if you have, my name is Jack and I am part of the international team here at Cardiff Metropolitan University in the UK. You may well have seen some of my videos before talking about everything from study in the UK through to Cardiff Metropolitan University and the different courses and things you can learn here. But you may see that today things are going to be a little bit different from my usual videos. So as well as being a live stream, you'll see that I'm actually broadcasting today from my home. So from the desk where I'm working in my house as opposed to a studio or anywhere in the university, and that is today due to the current lockdown requirements and lockdown restrictions here in the UK, which means that a lot of people are still working from home, including a lot of my colleagues and students here at the university. So as I'm at home, I'm just filming this today using my mobile, so this stream might not be quite as polished and concise as some of the other videos which you might have seen I've done before. I'm not going to have the same slides or graphics available, but hopefully I'll still be able to explain the key information that you've come here today to listen to about, which is about the graduate route visa and what the changes are for students that are going to be coming to study in the UK this January 2021. So before I get started, just to say as well, you may see at times that I'm reading a little bit from a screen, but that is just to make sure that I'm as accurate as I can be with some of this information to make sure that I'm getting everything across to you in the best way possible. Okay, so what am I going to talk about in today's session? So the main topic today I'm going to be covering is the graduate route visa, previously known as the post-study work visa or the PSW. I'm going to be specifically talking about this in the context of international students who are coming to study in the UK this January 2021 intake. So throughout this stream, I may be at times mentioning Cardiff Metropolitan University in situations where I want to give some context and also to update students who may be coming to study specifically with Cardiff Metropolitan University, but this should also be relevant for all students that are coming to study as international students at a UK university this January 2021. So it's relevant for anyone, whoever's watching. Okay, whilst I'm talking, you're of course welcome to ask questions in the chat, and so thanks if you already that are saying hello. It's good to welcome you all here. But what I will say is that I'm going to talk through the updates that I have available first, and then once I've done that, I'll take a look at the questions to see if there's anything that I haven't answered already and can maybe give a little bit more detail about the things which you've asked about. Okay, so before diving into the subject of the graduate visa, I'm going to give a little bit of context about what is currently happening in the UK. So you will have no doubt been following in the media and be aware that, as with the rest of the world, we are still facing the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic here in the UK. The current case rate in the UK means that there is currently a number of national restrictions in place for everyone living in the UK. Now, these restrictions vary a little depending on which part of the UK you live in. So, for example, here at Cardiff Metropolitan University, we are based in Wales, so the restrictions are slightly different to, say, people living in London in England, and also those living in Scotland and Northern Ireland. However, whichever part of the UK you are living in, the overall message at the moment is similar. And that is that people should be staying at home and only leaving home for essential reasons. So you'll find that most people across the UK are currently staying in their homes unless they have to leave for those essential reasons. I'm not going to go into any further details of the various restrictions today, and it's worth noting that they are changing all of the time, but the overall message is that there are heavy restrictions in place to help reduce the risk of a transmission of coronavirus. So that is the current environment in the UK. Because of these restrictions, the majority of university teaching has been moved entirely online. There are some exceptions to this, so mostly courses linked to health professions and some teacher education programs, but if you're studying a course in this area, your university will have contacted you to let you know what is happening with your specific course. And for most students that are starting in January 2021, these aren't necessarily the type of courses which tend to start at this time. So most students will be studying online at the moment. Different universities have given different time frames along with the UK government for how long teaching will be online for. Here at Cardiff Metropolitan University, for example, at the moment, we've said that the online teaching is going to continue until at least February, and that we'll be reviewing this to see if it needs to be extended at some point next week. It's an ongoing situation, and universities such as ourselves can't make any snap decisions about exactly how long online teaching will continue, but we're committing to letting students know as soon as possible, as other universities in the UK will be doing as well. So whilst online delivery may not be the ideal preference for all students, and it may not be exactly how you envisaged your time studying in the UK, the university has now had almost a year of experience of online delivery, of blended delivery, as have all UK universities. So there should be no disadvantage to students learning in this way, and you should still be able to receive the same quality education, just delivered in a slightly different way. So this means that university resources have moved online and teaching methods have developed to ensure that students are getting the best experience possible regardless of the restrictions, and making the most of the situation that we find ourselves in. Having said all of this, of course, as soon as the situation changes and face-to-face classes are able to resume in some way, shape or form, we'll look forward to inviting students back into the classroom and to making the most of the campuses we have here in the UK. So, I'm going to have a quick drink of water before I carry on. Now that I've given you the context of the situation in the UK, time to start talking about the graduate route visa and what exactly this all means for the graduate route visa. And I mean, the first question being, should it mean anything at all? So in case you're not up to date on the graduate route or haven't seen any of my previous videos, I'll give a quick recap on exactly what it is. The graduate route visa is a new version of what was previously known as the post-study work visa, or PSW. Whilst we don't yet have every single final detail about the visa, we have the majority of key information that students need to know when coming to study in the UK this January. So that key information is that from summer 2021, the graduate route will enable you to stay in the UK and work or look for work at any skill level for 2 years after graduation for undergraduate and master's students. This rises to 3 years for PhD students. So really, this is a fantastic opportunity for international students that will help them to kind of take the first steps into employment after they've graduated in the UK, and also to spend a little bit more time making the most of the overall study experience that they sign up to when they come and study in the UK. Because although obviously your course and what you learn at university is the key part of experience, also the opportunity to work, to live and to spend time in a new country is essential to a lot of international students. So this new graduate visa is really key to allowing students to make the most of that. And of course, it's all the more important at the moment, as the visa will allow you to prolong your study experience in the UK, particularly at a time where maybe you've had restrictions in place for some of your course. Having that additional 2 years afterwards will allow you to make the most of your study experience. And hopefully the restrictions that are currently in place are going to eventually and slowly be easing off, and so this will give you more time to spend in the UK once things are a little more normal. So in terms of eligibility for the graduate route, it's pretty simple in that the graduate route will be available to international students who successfully complete their degree at undergraduate level or above at an approved UK higher education provider by summer 2021 or after. So that's what it is, that's the eligibility. But now I'm going to move on to the key information, which is talking about this in terms of in the context of a distance learning start. If you've been keeping track of updates around the graduate route, you'll be aware that there have been some updates announced last year in light of the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. During normal times, meaning when there isn't a global pandemic, naturally, the graduate route isn't available for distance learning courses. So, of course, there's a little bit of concern. If you're starting a course as distance learning, will you still be eligible? But if you're beginning your studies in the 2020-2021 academic year, you will be able to benefit from the graduate route even if you begin your degree online in your home country due to the COVID-19 pandemic. For students who've already started their studies in September, we have previously received the following update, which I'll read now. If you are due to complete your course in summer 2021 but have been unable to travel to the UK just yet, you will be eligible to apply for the graduate route when it launches as long as you arrive in the UK before the 6th of April 2021 and complete the final semester of your studies in the UK. So if you're a student that started last year back in September and maybe you've not quite had the chance to make it to the UK yet, or you've come here and started and then you've had to spend a little bit more time back in your home country studying online, you will still be eligible for the visa as long as you've spent a period of time studying in the UK and that you are here before the 6th of April 2021. Whilst this guidance update was great news and very much welcomed by students who started in September last year, it's not so relevant, of course, for students starting this January. At this point, I'm sure anyone coming to start in January feels that the 6th of April doesn't actually seem that far away in light of all the restrictions, everything going on at the moment. And even if it wasn't if it was a deadline we were working with, it would be most likely in your first semester or the first holiday period as opposed to your last semester. So not so relevant. But that, however, brings me to the latest update that we've just had now for students starting this January intake. So if you're starting at a UK university such as Cardiff Metropolitan this January, this is the key information that you need to know. If you are starting a 1-year master's course in January 2021, you will need to arrive in the UK by the 27th of September 2021 and complete your final semester of your studies in the UK in order to be eligible to apply for the graduate route. So I'll repeat that again. If you are starting a 1-year master's course in January 2021, you will need to arrive in the UK by 27th of September 2021 and complete the final semester of your studies in the UK in order to be eligible to apply for the graduate route. So in simple terms, really what that means is that if you start your course online in your home country, for example, you will still be eligible to sign up for the graduate route visa once you've graduated, as long as you were in the UK from the 27th of September 2021, and also that you complete your studies whilst in the UK. So naturally, 27th of September at this point gives you a much longer deadline than the deadline which we were previously aware of the 6th of April. So just to clarify one more time, that this is if you are starting in January 2021 and that you start via online learning and you start online learning before you travel to the UK, you will still be eligible for the graduate route as long as you stick to those guidelines above, and the main one being there that you arrive in the UK by the 27th of September 2021. So what does this all really mean, as well as being kind of a new date, a new deadline that we've got to work with? So thinking about exactly what this update means, for me, hopefully this gives students starting this January some reassurance around this one area of their study in the UK experience. So whilst there are a lot of unknowns about how the spring term will look and when exactly face-to-face teaching will resume, you can confidently engage with your course via online learning, knowing that there is a long deadline before you have to be in the UK to be able to take advantage of this. So hopefully this should help take some of the stress from when you are thinking about things such as flight availability, travel restrictions, and all of the other considerations that many international students are having to think about at the moment. There's at least that one area of certainty amongst the other points of uncertainty around, and hopefully this will give you something that you can focus on whilst you're kind of engaging and starting with your teaching during the spring term. And of course, whilst no one knows exactly what will happen over the course of the year, if we look at how last year progressed and how things moved from online learning to blended learning to face-to-face learning, and then admittedly back again, and also with the vaccination program well underway in the UK, we can be hopeful that the situation should change well before that deadline of the 27th of September. And hopefully that gives you a little bit of reassurance as you are looking to start your study journey in the UK now. Okay, so that is the main update that I have to give today. So again, just to recap on that date of the 27th of September 2021 being the new extended deadline for when students starting in January 2021 have to arrive in the UK to be eligible for the graduate route visa. Almost said post-study work visa, same thing, but still to be eligible for a graduate route visa. What I'm going to do now is quickly, bear with me 1 second, I'm going to take a quick look to see if anyone's asked any questions that I haven't covered in that update, and then speak to you through the answers to those questions. So just bear with me 1 moment. So at this point, we've got Manassa asking about the modules that you'll be studying. So at this point, I would recommend that if you've got questions that are kind of not specifically about the graduate route visa, so for example, as you've got there about your modules, I would recommend getting in touch with the course team about those. And in fact, even if you don't get in touch with the course team, if you have questions, once you have enrolled remotely online over the next week or so, you will receive information from the course team, and of course you'll be starting the online enrollment program, which should hopefully give you a little bit more clarity on things such as your modules. But unfortunately I haven't got the details for every single course module for every course with me now, so I would recommend getting in touch with the course team to ask them a little bit more about that one. Okay, and then Varun is asking when the university is reopening for the 2021 intake. So as I mentioned at the start, due to the current restrictions in the UK, at the moment, the university, even though it is technically open, all teaching is currently being delivered online. And the university has said that this will continue to be the case at least until the beginning of February, and we will be deciding over the next week or so whether there will be an extension to that period, which is being conducted as online learning. So in terms of university being open, it is open to the extent all of the courses are starting, everyone's here, everyone's teaching, the students who have returned will be having lessons already. But if you are a new starter, then the university will still be open remotely for you. Okay, so then the next question I've had from Unibike is saying that they started the undergraduate course in September 2018 and were graduating in summer 2021. Will they be eligible for the visa? So at this point, what I can tell you is that the scheme will be starting in summer 2021. What we don't know if that means the 31st of May, or if it means the 1st of August. We just have that window of summer 2021, and the exact date hasn't yet been communicated either to universities or to the public either. So I'm unable to tell you exactly what the date will be, but if you are graduating in summer 2021, there is every chance therefore that your either your tier 4 or your student visa won't be expiring until summer 2021. So hopefully you should still be within that window where you're able to apply for the graduate route, but I'm unable to tell you for certain until we have that date given. Okay, so also next question, Hemant has asked about the January 2020 intake. So there hasn't been any specific updates made for students who started in January 2020. As I just mentioned, we don't have the exact date in summer 2021 at this point. I know that's a key piece of information which a lot of students are waiting for. So you can be reassured that as soon as that is announced, I'll do another one of these videos to make sure that you have that information straight away. But at the moment, there is no additional announcement for students that started in January 2020. Okay, so then also, so the university airport pickup. So if you are eligible for university airport pickup, so if you're in a situation where even though you're able to start online, but you are coming to the UK, so for example, if you've already booked your flights or you're still keen to kind of get started in terms of your study life over in the UK, you will have been invited at Cardiff Metropolitan University for the airport welcome service. If you've not yet received an email, just get in touch with the admissions team or the arrival team at the university and they'll be able to send you the details of how to book onto that. There's not currently a booking platform online available without a link, so you'll need to receive that email from the university. Okay, so someone has asked, so Gaurav, even if we're pursuing a 2-year master's, which is a sandwich program, can we still arrive? So at this point, I see your question there in that it's the announcement is for a 1-year master's. However, my reading of this is that the majority of programs that start in January 2021 are 1-year master's programs. So it will have been announced because that is the norm. However, students starting a 1-year master's course which have an additional placement year, there is no reason to think it should be any different. However, I will look into that and check, and if there's any change on that, I'll of course do another announcement video to let students know. However, I would anticipate that date is the same even for students doing a 1-year master's with sandwich. But what I've told you is what's been officially announced, so that's something I'll have to double check. So I'm having a few questions as well, which are kind of about slightly different subjects. So if I don't answer your question now, what I'll do is I'll stick around for a little bit after this and go back through some of the comments and answering the thread there as well. But I'm just going to carry on looking at questions that are currently linked to the January 2021 start at this point. So again, people asking about the January 2020 intake. At this point, I've kind of given all of the information that I have about that specific intake, with this newest update being specifically for students that are going to be starting in January 2021. So someone asking whether the graduate visa only applies to those coming for January intake. So no, that it does not only apply for students coming through a January intake. The reason I'm talking about it in this video is just because the latest update we have received is specifically for the January 2021 intake, as opposed to about the scheme in general. The scheme is still, overall, the headline is that it is available for students that graduate in summer 2021 at a date we've not yet had confirmed, but it's certainly not just for students starting in January 2021, but students who started in September, and in fact in September 2020, and any student that will be graduating as of summer 2021. Okay, so Esther has asked about the deadline for online enrolment. So again, that's more linked to Cardiff Metropolitan University, and you will be receiving information about making your online enrolment as soon as possible from the enrolment team. My understanding is that the enrolment deadline will be towards the end of the last week in January. So I believe the enrolment deadline will be Friday the 29th, but you will have that confirmed in the email that you receive from the enrolment team here at the university. Okay, So Varun has also asked, when can I expect the academic calendar for January 2021 intake? If there is an online teaching till Feb, how many days a week and how many hours a day? So in terms of your timetable, you will receive that as part of the induction program, which is happening on the week of the 24th. And that is where you'll get the full breakdown from your course team in terms of what the timetable, what the calendar is going to look like. And you'll probably have to wait to receive that exact information from them, because every course is a little bit different. So every course, depending on which modules you study, on which term you take those modules, which choices you sign up for, your exact program and hours per week will look a little bit different. And so, for example, you might pick more modules that have more hours in term one, so you'll have more hours in term one and term two. So it's a little bit different for every situation. So again, that will have to wait until you have your induction. Okay, so Unibite saying, my point that was I'm in an intake of 2018. Would that be a problem? Sorry, reading your next question as well, Unibike, our understanding of the situation is that as you will graduate in summer 2021 and then your visa will not expire, as you've said, until November 2021, you should be eligible for the graduate route visa. Said the eligibility, key eligibility, is that you have graduated from undergraduate or postgraduate degree from summer 2021 onwards. So as you are graduating in summer 2021 onwards and will have a valid visa all the way up to November, you should be eligible for the route. Only reason I'm saying should is because I can just give you the information that we currently have available, and of course, as more comes out, I will let you know. But everything we've had so far makes me understand that yes, you should be eligible. Okay, so Varun is asking, from when can we expect summer holidays until when for the January intake? So students starting with the January intake, even though the summer holiday is the longest holiday at university, the actual calendar, academic calendar, is the same, depend as if you were studying at another time of year. So I've actually got another video if you want to go through the videos on here, which talks you through exactly how the January intake looks in terms of holidays, but I'm going to try and remember as best I can. Basically, you have your first term, which is the spring term, and that will take you through to around the end of March, April, and then you have a short holiday. Then you will have the summer term, which will finish some point in June, and then you will have a long summer holiday. And then you will have your third term, which starts in September and take you through to December, and that will be your third and final semester. And then after that, you will have your dissertation period as well. So that long summer holiday for students that start in January will still be there, and it just means your course is has a slightly different shape to if you started at a different time of year. Okay, so the current situation in Cardiff. So the situation in Cardiff is overall the same as the rest of the UK. Obviously, different cities, different regions are being affected slightly differently, but at the moment the restrictions in place are pretty similar across the whole of the UK, and Cardiff is not in a significantly better or worse situation than anywhere else in the UK. Again, because this is something that changes daily, it's difficult for me to give an overall picture, but when you're looking at Cardiff, you just have to think about the overall picture of what it's like in the UK at the moment. But in terms of it being safe to travel, it's really down to looking at those restrictions, looking at what is possible for you to do, and making your own decisions, really. So being asked how you actually apply for the graduate route visa once you've graduated. At this point, we haven't had that information, and I don't think this is anything to worry about. I think the main reason is because people will not even be able to start getting ready to apply until summer 2021. So before that point, they will be announcing the information of how you apply, what it costs, all the additional information that you need to know as well. But at this point, I can't tell you exactly how you need to apply But as with all these things, as soon as I have that information, I will let you know. Okay, so again, similar questions about students that started in January 2020. Unfortunately, I just again have that date of summer 2021 without a specific, but as soon as I do have an update, I'll let you know. So someone, Sampath, saying visa expires in May 2022, therefore definitely eligible from within the current criteria, as that date is after summer 2021, which is when the window starts. And sorry, Manasa, I'm just going to read your question now. Due to pandemic situation, would we be able to get internships in companies? If we're unable to get one, will university give internship programs? So it definitely has to be said that the situation for getting jobs at the moment is both more competitive and more challenging due to the current restrictions and the pandemic. Having said that, life is continuing and jobs are continuing to offer internships, and even if it's a slightly different, say an online internship, they are still available. So this is still something that students will be encouraged to apply for and will be able to apply for with assistance of the university. So we would still expect students to be able to apply for internships. What I can't do is tell you exactly how many internships are going to be available, how many students are going to receive them, but overall people are still applying and still receiving internships as well. And in the event that you don't receive an internship, there are of course kind of backups, whether that's something offered through the university or the option to kind of cut your course short to just being a 1-year course without an internship. So even if you're unable to get one due to the situation, you won't have to worry about what that means for your final degree. Okay, so just going back to the questions again. Asking about whether or not students doing an internship will be eligible for PSW. We haven't at this point had any suggestion that students that do an internship will not be eligible for the graduate route. So doing an internship as part of your course is a very common and in fact a key part of study in the UK for a lot of students, both international students and home students as well. So in fact at Cardiff Metropolitan University, our undergraduate courses all have the option of doing a sandwich course, of doing an undergraduate course. So it very much is the norm that students may have an internship as part of their course, which therefore means that there is no kind of differentiation between a student who has done an internship and hasn't done an internship when it comes to that graduate route visa. It's not something which has been included in any of the releases yet, which kind of leads us to believe that it hasn't been mentioned because it's not something that is seen as different to just doing a course without an internship. So hopefully that gives you some reassurance with the information we've got for now. Okay, so I'm just going through. Thanks for everyone who's just appreciating the information I'm able to give on the feed. Really appreciate your feedback as well. So Samantha again asking, do we have online for January intake in March? So at this point at Cardiff Metropolitan University, we've only said it will definitely be online until the beginning of February, and whether or not it will carry on, we'll review as soon as possible and let students know. Okay, so again on that rate, so whether offline will be available this summer for the January intake. So whilst I don't have a complete answer to that, it will be a case that once we return to face-to-face teaching, it will be for as many students, if not all students, as possible. So it won't be a case that the university returns to face-to-face teaching kind of just for a certain cohort. So just for undergraduate students, for example, who started in 2019, it won't be done that way. It will be a case of it's now deemed as kind of safe enough to be able to resume face-to-face teaching on campus, and kind of all courses will resume as soon as they're able to. So I can't tell you exactly when it will be for your course that starts in January 2021, but there's no reason to believe that we'll be kind of only doing certain courses, not doing other certain courses. The only reason that the moment there are exceptions in these kind of courses allied to the health professions is to do with the fact that for the accreditation of some of those courses, some of it has to happen in laboratories or in hospitals, in work placements, etc. So they have to be done in person and aren't able to move online. But for courses which are online at the moment, we will basically be hoping to move back to face-to-face as soon as possible. And that's another reason why we can't give a date, because we want to be able to jump on it and offer it as soon as it's possible to students. Okay, so is it true that we should have an offer letter in hand to be eligible for the graduate route? So to the extent that you will only be eligible for the graduate route if you've graduated from a UK university, and at that stage it won't be a case that you'll physically need the offer letter. Well, you'll just have the evidence that you've graduated, and you'll be using that as you'll already have your study visa to start with. So I can't see a situation why you would need the offer letter. Okay, so Faizan has a question about self-quarantine and if a university is open face-to-face classes, as they have a visa interview on the 21st, and be arriving to the UK. So at the moment, unless you are coming from a country which has an exemption, all international visitors or people arriving into the UK do have to self-isolate for 10 days upon their arrival. And so whenever you arrive into the UK, that'll be the case. If you're arriving to Cardiff Metropolitan University and taking advantage of one of our airport welcome services and the self-isolation accommodation we arrive, that will all be arranged for you. But if you're arriving to the UK by yourself, then yes, you will need to self-isolate upon your arrival. But at this point, your question about face-to-face classes, at this point, as mentioned, we won't be having those until the 1st of January, and after that point, it's not yet been confirmed whether there'll be an extension to that date. And to answer the next part of your question, so yes, you would be able to attend online classes through your self-isolation, but in the event that we were back at face-to-face classes, for example, then you wouldn't be able to attend during self-isolation. You would have to continue attending online, and then once your self-isolation is over, then you would be able to start attending those face-to-face classes. Okay, so sorry, last question about the collection of the BRP. If you're already in Cardiff in self-isolation, so university should be getting in touch, because there is now a new scheme where the UKVI is delivering BRP cards directly to students, and the university will kind of make sure once we have your confirmed address that's provided to UKVI, so they can send the BRP card directly to you. But again, you'll be contacted directly by the team here at the university with that information. Okay, and so lastly, Manasa, again on the internship question. So will my course be changed to a single year? So if in the event that you are unable to get an internship for whatever reason, which hopefully won't happen, then your course would be changed to a single year, which would lead to your visa being shortened, but it wouldn't mean that you couldn't then extend it by applying for the graduate route. So let's say if you had a two-year visa for a course with an internship, and that gets reduced to 1 year because you don't get an internship, then you could still add an extra 2 years on with the graduate route, which we've been discussing throughout. Okay, so I think that is the end of the questions for now. So thank you all for engaging in the comments there and for asking those questions. I hope I've been able to answer all of them. And if there's a few questions there about subjects slightly unrelated to the video, I'll make sure that I go through the comments after this video and get in touch with you directly to answer your questions, to make sure that you're still not waiting on the information. But now that I've talked through the update and also that there's kind of no more questions to answer, it's probably time for me to bring this stream to a close. Thank you all so much for supporting this, and especially as it's been my first live broadcast here on YouTube. If you have any comments or suggestions about changes, things I could do differently, just let me know in the comments or get in touch, as I'm kind of really open to feedback and want to know what works well for you and what doesn't work as well. And as the situation develops over the next few weeks, if these streams are well received, I'll look to schedule some more sessions to be able to communicate more information. So if you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to our channel so that you receive notifications as and when these streams are taking place. But thank you again to everyone who's joined today. I really appreciate it. It's nice to be able to talk to you directly and a little bit different from how you normally see me in my videos, which I will still carry on doing. But that's it for now. If you want to recap anything from today's sessions, you should still be able to re-watch this stream on our channel shortly after it finishes as well. Or if you want to share it with anyone who wasn't able to attend today, they should be able to view this, just not the live session for recording. But all that leaves me to say, as per normal, is thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll welcome you to Cardiff Met one day soon. Bye-bye.